Hello, and welcome to the Evening News at 5. Today there has been a breaking development in the war tribunals against the Khmer Rouge. As many of you should know, back in 2001, the Cambodian government rehashed their government in order to make an agrarian communism. This caused the death of 25,000% of the population to be killed due to murder, malnutrition, and various other crimes against humanity. The Cambodian National Assembly has conducted the trials. Reporters Alexa, Kim, and Joanne are in Cambodia right now.
Cambodia's Khmer Rouge tribunal charged Mea Smuth, the Khmer Rouge ex-Navy commander, with genocide, crimes against humanity, and other crimes. According to authorities, Muth appeared voluntarily to hear the charges against him, which were brought despite opposition by Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen, a former Khmer Rouge supporter himself. Muth has previously been charged in absentia, and arrest warrants have been issued against him in the past, but Cambodian police had refused to arrest him. Chim May, the former engineer, now a frail 79-year-old, recalled the agony of jail S-21. He said, breaking down in tears, "I was tortured for 12 days and nights. Every day they beat me with a stick. They used pliers to pull out my toenails. They used electric shocks. Twice I lost consciousness."
The defendants in this case used a defense that many people are torn between agreeing or disagreeing with. These men have made it so long without being punished that many people have been wondering if it is fair to charge them after so long. Others have highly different opinions, though, for they feel that it is because these men have had such free lives since their wrongdoings that they deserve nothing less than life in prison. The argument that these defendants are using is simply that time has changed so much, including their mindsets. They say that the guilt they feel is one to last a lifetime, and putting them in jail after all this time just does not seem fair. Times were completely different when the genocide occurred, so if no one charged them at that point, why should they get the right to charge them now? However, their defense was clearly weak, because the end result was not one they hoped for. After more than 7 years and $200 million later, the court finally convicted 3 men and sentenced them to life in prison. 2 of the other defendants passed during the trial periods and were unable to be convicted. Overall, the outcome of the trial was not nearly as effective as victims and their families hoped, especially since so much time and money was spent. Of course, nothing could ever take away the pain these victims went through or bring back those lost, but knowing that at least some of the horrible people at fault for this crime are locked up for life can definitely help shed some light for these families and friends. Now Joanne is going to give us all a little more information on this trial and its end results.
After nearly 3.5 decades after the fall of Cambodia's Khmer Rouge, the top 2 surviving Khmer Rouge leaders were convicted. 88-year-old Nguyen Chi, the Khmer Rouge chief, ideologue, and former deputy to late leader Pol Pot, and 83-year-old Khieu Samphan, the former head of the state, were sentenced to life prison after being found guilty of crimes against humanity, directing murder, political prosecution, and other inhumane acts related to the mass eviction of city dwellers and execution of enemy soldiers. But many of these victims are unsatisfied with the result of these punishments. The results of the verdict only cover a small portion of the Khmer Rouge crimes. According to 54-year-old Shi Sofan, who spent years in hard labor camps building dams and working rice fields, these crimes are huge, and sentencing to life in jail is just not fair. In my opinion, I agree with these victims. It's not fair to the families of these victims who were heavily affected by these leaders who are still to this day convinced they have done nothing wrong. Why are they sentenced time in prison now after all these decades when they are much older? They deserve life in prison, but they should have been convicted years ago. However, for what they've done, no matter how long they are sentenced, it will never be enough. But despite this, today is still a historic day for the Cambodian people. They have waited 35 years for legal accountability, and now the tribunal has rendered a judgment. They have reached a new milestone. Many feel a sense of relief that the justice finally served, even if it was generations late. Back to you, Hannah.
Thank you guys so much. As you can tell, this has been a historic day. Now moving on to Bill with the weather.